Hey, hey. How y'all feeling out there? This is one of my all-time favorites. I love PM Dawn. I love this jam. It's just a great song. It's a vibe. You know, y'all can feel that. Hey. Yeah, so this isn't about singing, right? So how y'all feeling today? Y'all chilling? Y'all keeping everything good? Everything, moving the way you want it to move? Maybe not, but at least you're able to have another day to try to get it moving. You know what I'm saying? Everybody don't have that. So we have to be thankful for all things, even if it doesn't look the way, you want it exactly, even if it doesn't look the way you would prefer it exactly. Be thankful that you are breathing, you are here, and you have another chance to create exactly what you want. So learning to be grateful through all things is the key to a happy life. So today's life lesson is going to be about negatives develop in the dark is the title of this one. There's a quote that I read before, and it says beautiful pictures are developed from negatives in a dark room. So if you see darkness in your life, be reassured that a beautiful picture is being prepared. And I do believe that. I do believe that that is a great way to look at things. And I do believe that that is not only true as it pertains to developing a literal, photo, but also developing a photo of your life that you desire, right? I think what happens what happens sometimes is that we don't deal with the darkness in our lives that way. Most times when we are in the face of darkness, we focus on the negative aspects of it, which keeps the beautiful picture from developing. But that's because most times those negatives need to be exposed to a special form of light and running water, as do the negatives in a dark room when it's developing a literal photo. They have to be, it's not completely dark, they're exposed to a special form of light and water. They need to be exposed to pure positive words, your fresh running water, and positive people with positive thoughts, particular forms of light. That water in your life would be your words, your positive words, your positive thoughts, the things that you let flood your mind, flood your emotions. That would be your light, right? And then that particular form of light will be the things that you read, the people you converse with, the different things you allow yourself to be exposed to at the time. You have to conquer the darkness with light, not more darkness. It's easy to become consumed by the gloom and the murkiness that we feel. And, just personally over the past 6 months, I've had many dark room moments. I've had some really hard things that I've had to deal with, which I'll, expound on or talk about in later podcasts. But I've had to choose my light and my water very wisely through these times. A lot of times we don't intentionally bring in more darkness, but when we allow ourselves to sulk and just think on the things that are like the things that we see or that we don't want, as opposed to the way that we would like them to be, we become consumed by it, and inadvertently we're creating more of it, right? I remember going through a dark time in my life in 2015, and I would lie in bed and I would just cry. The room was completely dark. I would keep the room completely dark. I didn't want to see anything. I didn't want to hear anything. I just wanted to be left alone in the darkness with my dark feelings and my dark thoughts. I didn't want anyone to tell me anything positive. And I'm just being honest. Like, I didn't want to hear anything positive. I didn't want anybody to come around and say, well, this could be, I don't want to hear that. No, 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 not right now. Just honestly, sometimes I don't want to hear that. Like, that's just how you feel. And at that time, that's what I felt like. I felt like, I don't want to hear anything positive. I don't want to open a window, and do not turn my light on. Like, do not come in here and turn on my light, right? I'm sure you've noticed how after being in a dark space for a long time and then suddenly there's like a light that comes on, your eyes have a tough time adjusting to it. If the light level changes by a small amount, our eyes, our retinas can change and adapt almost immediately. However, if the light raises by a significant amount, then the eye takes a lot longer to readjust. Everything works the same universally, and you will hear me say this so many times because I am a true believer in universal law and principles. Our spirits, our thoughts, our emotions work the same as physical darkness and the light switch. When we allow our souls to stay in the dark for so long, our souls mean our emotions to stay in the dark for so long, it takes every part of us longer to readjust to the light. And that readjustment is often painful and uncomfortable, right? So naturally, we fight it. We fight it at first. Like when someone walks in your room after you've been sleeping and they turn on a light, right? And you're trying to just hurry up and put the pillow over your face or put the cover over your face because right away it's just like very uncomfortable, like, because you've adjusted, your eyes have been closed and they've adjusted to the darkness. You immediately feel the discomfort of the light, and you throw anything over to shield your eyes. In real life, you can't shield your eyes from the light. You have to sit in the momentary discomfort and pain until that light feels normal. I had to learn to allow myself to think good things. At that time, I was going through a really hard thing, and a guy who I was working with, who happens to be a really, really, really good friend of mine, I was crying that morning in the classroom, and he kept saying, Indy, what's wrong? And I'm just like, I couldn't pull it together, but I couldn't talk about it either. And he simply said something so simple to me. He said, Indy, you deserve all good things. And I'm not going to cry right now, but in that moment, the feelings that I felt, the things that I was going through, those words made me realize, like, you deserve good things. You deserve to have good things. He didn't bombard me. He didn't harass me. That's all he said. He touched my shoulder and he walked out of the room. But I still remember that, and I still hold on to that. That was a form of light. That was a form of that, that particular form of light that we need in those dark spaces. And you need friends that know how to be that particular form of light. You need people that are close to you that can provide and be sensitive enough to provide that special particular form of light to you in those times, But we have to sit in that momentary discomfort and pain until the light feels normal, until we're able to accept everything the light is now showing us that was still there in the darkness anyway. The darkness can be deceitful. It's not that those things are not there in the dark with you. They don't disappear. Those things are still sitting there with you. It just allows you not to have to address them the way you need to. That's why the darkness can be so dangerous if we don't know how to handle it properly. Light exposes different angles. It causes us to see more, and not just more of the things, but also more of ourselves. It cuts angles of ourselves that we don't want to deal with too. Some things take on various forms of darkness too. We start to see things that are not there. based on our minds. And that's a whole thing. That's a whole nother story I have to tell y'all about my oldest daughter, Madison. Perfect example of that. Well, I'll tell you now. So one night she kept calling me in her room. I put her to bed. She kept calling me in her room. Mom, turn the light. Hurry, hurry. And I clicked the light on. I'm like, what? She was like, oh, nothing. Never mind. And I'll, go kiss her again. Good night. She'll call me back in the room. I'm like, what is wrong with you? What are you screaming for? Now, at this time, I keep getting in the bed. She keeps screaming. I'm like, girl, what is wrong with you? So I come back in the room and she's like, every time you turn off the light, the jacket hanging, she had a banister on her bed for a canopy. Every time you turn off the light, that coat turned into a monkey trying to get to me. What? How in the world does a jacket hanging on a banister, whatever it's called, on your bed turn into a killer monkey? But her mind in the darkness created something that was not there. Some of those things are just hanging in the wrong places. That jacket shouldn't have been there. Huh? So that's the same thing with our lives. Some of those things are we just got the coats put in the wrong place. We just have the thoughts. We just have, the feelings. We just have the relationships. We just have some of those things just hung in the wrong place. Places that they don't belong, like our love, our time and attention. And the darkness makes them look like things they are not. We have to realize that these moments have happened to all of us. We've all had very dark moments. Some of us are probably in those very dark moments right now. And if you are in that very dark moment right now, right here, as I sit here, I am sending you such high vibrations of love and comfort that I can possibly muster up in this time. Let me tell you, I know what it feels like. I know, it is not easy, to even allow the light in, but you have to allow that light in, allow that inner switch to be turned on, and just allow that light to just shine on the angles of you and the situations and everything that needs to be addressed, and make a better you out of it. Let a beautiful you develop out of these things. I'm telling you, once you turn on the light and you face those monsters, you realize, just like Madison, most of them were imaginary anyway. Most of them weren't real. And even the real ones, you still have the power to conquer them. The grief that I have been feeling is real. That's not imaginary. Yeah, it's for real. It's for true. But I have light. I have so much light. I have the giver of all light inside of me. I am created from that source of light and love. So I have to know how to deal with these things, as do you. I just want you to be encouraged, to remain encouraged over this time. If you're dealing with anything dark, if you're dealing with anything that feels, uncomfortable, just know that there is light for you. There is love for you. There is comfort for you. And I am here, and we are all here together. We are all made of the same energy, and we can feel each other. And everyone listening, we're just sending every listener a big ball of love and light and beautiful energy. I pray that y'all have a great, great day. Until next Monday, love you. See you soon. One more jam out. Baby, you send me out. Baby, you send me out. Set adrift on memory bliss. The camera pans a cocktail glass. Behind the blinds of plastic plants, you find a lady with a fat diamond ring. And then you know I can't remember a damn thing. I think it's one of those deja vu things, or a dream that's trying to tell me something. But will I ever stop thinking about it? I don't know. I doubt it. Subterranean by design.